Hi, I'm Tom Naughton, and this is a video version of the Fathead Farm Report. When I went downstairs for coffee this morning, the girls were making pear sauce, like applesauce only with pears. While I was sleeping, they'd gone out to the orchard and filled up some plastic buckets with pears. A lot of pears. The pears in this picture were only about a third of the morning harvest. So without asking either of their parents, they decided to make pear sauce. Rather than describe what goes into pear sauce, I'll let Sarah tell you about it.
It went from this to this to this to this.
So you take these,
It smells nice.
chop them up.
Chop them up, and then we plopped them in the pan. Boiled them. We plopped them in the pan with some water. Boiled them. Smashed it,
Okay.
and we're gonna wait a minute and then taste it.
What did you add? What'd you add in here?
Some pectin, which
Pectin.
it's a thickening agent.
Pectin.
Mom just told us about it.
Okay.
And hot water. Well, just water, and then we heat it. And mashed pear. That's pretty much it.
Stevia?
Oh, yes, a tiny bit of stevia.
I didn't try the pear sauce, but they told me it's delicious, and they were quite proud of themselves for coming up with the idea and making it without any help from Mommy. The only thing they didn't like was finding out that Mommy considers cleaning up to be part of any cooking job. Meanwhile, down in the basement, Shariva has 18 new baby chicks growing up under a heat lamp. Our cat Rascal is extremely interested in the chicks, but hasn't tried to get in the trough with them. Probably because we keep it covered. The chicks are a mix of males and females. Instead of putting them in the barn with the 7 chickens we already have, Shariva plans to build a portable chicken coop like this one and move them around on the land behind the house. If all goes well, the females will give us a lot more of these, and most of the males will eventually give us more of these. Sometimes it sucks being a male. When I wrote a post about hacking through the weeds with a weed whacker, a reader posted a link showing how much faster it is to work with an old-fashioned scythe. We already owned a scythe, but I never used it before this weekend. I like the scythe. Swinging it around is good exercise for the arms, and unlike when I'm using a gas-powered weed whacker, the blade doesn't move fast enough to turn pebbles and sticks into little missiles. So I don't have to wear a helmet and a face mask. I tried using the scythe on one of our briar jungles, but the briar's too thick and the scythe tended to just bounce off of it. I figure that can't be good for the blade. So I ended up resorting to modern equipment. And this time I had the good sense to wear long sleeves so I wouldn't splatter poison ivy on my arms like last time. When I wrote about using a chainsaw on the big pile of logs out near our barn, a couple of readers politely reminded me that cutting up logs that are stacked on top of each other isn't a good idea. I agree. We all have to die sometime, but I don't want to do it anytime soon, and certainly not as the result of doing something stupid. A reader named Jim suggested pulling down the logs with a chain and a truck. Well, I don't have a truck, but I figured a chain attached to my car might do the trick. And it did. At least until I tried pulling some big logs, which snapped the chain I was using, which was only rated for 400 pounds. So it was off to the hardware store to buy a chain rated for 3,000 pounds. Then we were able to start bringing down the wood pile. At least until we got to the really big logs. Then it was the carabiner that couldn't take the load. The carabiner was only rated for 1,100 pounds. They make carabiners that are rated for 3,000 pounds, but at the hardware store, I found out those are too big to slip inside a chain that's rated for 3,000 pounds. I'm thinking the chain people and the carabiner people need to get together and compare notes. Anyway, most of the wood pile is down now, and I'm pretty sure I can get back to cutting it into firewood without getting buried under a pile of logs.
Oh, wow.
And that's the Fathead Farm Report for September 7th, 2013.